Hello, hello. Welcome to today's session of Selling the Couch. If you have been thinking about creating an online course, but you are struggling with whether you are ready to create an online course, then today's session is for you. We're exploring 5 areas and 5 questions or 5 indicators that can let you know whether you are ready to launch an online course. I remember when I first started or had the idea for a podcasting course, this was around June of 2015. The kind of interesting thing was I had just launched the STC podcast in March of 2015. So it wasn't and I had been learning about podcasting maybe since September of that previous year. So I very much did not feel like I was an expert on podcasting. At a practical level for me, I was deeply rooted on the clinical side at that time as well. So I was still at a group practice where I was doing individual and couples therapy. I was doing bariatric surgery, psych evals, and then I was also working at a community mental health agency doing biopsychosocial evals. And when I launched the STC podcast in 2015, what started happening is colleagues started emailing me or they would DM me on Facebook and ask if they could consult with me on doing this podcasting thing. And I didn't know how much to charge. So I was like, let me just charge as much as I'm making on one of these biopsychosocial evals, which was a paltry $200 for several hours of work. But I was like, I just want to replace that income and then see if I can, have some options there. As more and more colleagues started reaching out to do these consults, I was like, I wonder if we can present this information in a online course format. But the idea of honestly launching an online course and teaching, especially in an online medium. At that point, I was honestly about 3 years licensed as a psychologist. So I was still in my early 30s. And I very much felt like I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I felt like, who am I to be teaching when I myself have done podcasting for less than a year? And then I also worried about what if nobody signs up? And those fears really kind of crippled me. But here's what I learned. Readiness isn't about having it all figured out. It's about taking that first step with intention, knowing that the dots will connect at some point. You just have to take those first steps. So how do you know if you are ready to create an online course? So the first sign is you're looking for scalable impact. Therapy is meaningful. I love the work of therapy. We do amazing work in the therapy room. It serves others really well. But the model in private practice is the therapy model in itself is about trading time for income, right? So you see a client for a clinical hour, you get paid. If you don't see a clinical hour, you don't get paid. Now, if you've ever thought, I want to help more people without sacrificing all my time, creating an online course could be for you. It basically allows you to share your message on a bigger scale beyond and grow your impact and your income beyond the therapy room. The second sign that you are ready to launch an online course is you've mastered a specific skill or you have a very specific niche that you are known for. So think about what you are getting known for and think about the niches and specialties that you are getting known for. Now, if you have a certain area and folks are coming to you, they're paying for you for therapy, then it's usually a pretty good indicator that there's some potential beyond the geographic area that you are serving clients in order to be able to serve them. And so it seems like a very basic and kind of common sense thing, but what I notice is there's a segment of colleagues who usually start private practices and have not quite found a niche, and they then jump into creating an online course thinking that somehow the online course will help them to expand or clarify what their niche is. Personally, for me, I actually feel that is backwards. So I actually feel like you should be in private practice for several years. I like to use, roughly 5 years of doing clinical work and getting known in a certain area. That way you already know also like the nuances of their pains and struggles. And that is when I would say then really consider creating an online course. The third thing is you just have a passion for teaching. And because at the core of it, an online course is about sharing information. But I think of it as you are both I call it an infotainer. So you're providing information, but you're also doing it in an entertaining sort of way. I tell our colleagues all the time when I say the word entertainer, it's not like you're like juggling balls in the air while teaching a lesson or anything like that. It's more, does the topic that you are creating a course on, does it light you up in a way that you are like, hey, I want to be able to teach it in this way or in this unique and interesting way? If that is, if that's something that you're like, oh yeah, Mel, I can definitely see that, then I think it's definitely usually an indicator that you're ready. There's also another kind of nuance. If you've ever enjoyed like mentoring supervisees or leading workshops or explaining concepts, if you ever like did any adjunct teaching, or if you were in grad school, if you were a TA or anything like that, I think an online course is a natural extension of what you may love to do. To be honest, like I never actually considered myself a teacher, even though like I knew like my grandparents were teachers, my parents were teachers at one point in their lives. And I knew that I had the skill sets, and I knew that, maybe there was like something that had been modeled as well, but I didn't really consider myself like a teacher. And I think part of it was I just felt like, I don't know, I think I struggled a lot, to be honest, with like feeling like an imposter and feeling like, even thinking like, oh, there's like, I've had some really amazing teachers, like how can I measure up to them? But the reality is, each of us have our own giftings, our own ways of presenting. Even stuff, that I share on the podcast, the reality is it resonates with a segment of our colleagues and is not going to resonate with the segment of our colleagues. And that's okay. Your teaching and your approach as a course creator is not going to resonate with everyone. But the most important thing is that it resonates with a specific type of person. Hey there, it's Melvin. I hope you're having an awesome day. Just wanted to let you know that STC Elite, our mastermind for therapists creating their first online course, is currently open for enrollment. If you have been thinking about creating an online course and you're like 2025 is the year I'm going to make this happen, but you're looking just for support and accountability and just to be with other therapists who get it and who are also creating their first online course, I definitely encourage you to check it out. This is specifically, again, for therapists, and specifically for therapists who are more seasoned business owners who see an online course as a way to diversify their income beyond just kind of that trading time for income. I think that is normal for many of us and that we're taught to do. It's also for those of us that feel like we have a bigger message to share that extends and extends beyond the therapy room, and an online course is a wonderful way to do that. So if it makes sense, I would love to schedule a time for us to chat. When you do schedule that time, there's a link to our sales page and you can check it out so you know exactly costs and how long and all of that kind of stuff and exactly what's included. We've had the good fortune to support now over 53 therapists create their online course, and we have refined this curriculum over the past 4 years, just trying to get it even better and better. It's an awesome community and we would love to have you in it if it does make sense. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we can schedule a one-on-one and chat soon. Bye. The fourth thing that I would say is you're open to learning new skills. So creating an online course isn't just about teaching. It's about embracing a bunch of different things like learning course platforms, or learning how to grow an audience online, or learning some basic tech, like not like when you first create an online course, you don't have to have some crazy like fancy DSLR and lighting like I do now. Honestly, like like a webcam with a halfway decent mic is more than enough. But as long as you have a openness and a heart to learn those tools and to say like, hey, these are things that I think I could see myself developing over time, is the key. The reality is you don't have to be an expert right when you're starting with all of this stuff, like building an audience and all of this, but you just have to have, I think what I've learned is just a willingness and a heart to learn. I personally, on my end, I didn't take like business or marketing classes in undergrad or grad school. I had zero experience in online business. But what I learned is just along the way, just taking these like small iterative steps is kind of the key and the most important thing. The fifth and final point is you are willing to validate your idea. Now, this seems like a very basic, but it's an important step because I personally feel like every therapist has an online course within them, because if you think about it, we are building private practices or coaching or consulting, and we're getting known for something. And so because we're getting known for something, inevitably that also means that we have expertise in an area and we can teach that to other people. Now, the most important thing though is just because you are passionate about a course topic doesn't mean that people will actually buy it. So you don't need to have a polished course to start. You just need to know that there's an audience for your idea. We created a free 7-day email course that's specifically built for therapists who want to create an online course to help them validate and test their course idea. You can learn more about it at sellingthecouch.com/course kit, sellingthecouch.com/course kit, or you can go to coursecreatorstarterkit.com. But just taking the time to validate your idea, because often what I learned is it's not just about the online course, right? Like the digital course, it's about all of these other opportunities that can springboard from the course. So for example, will you, and again, this all depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. But let's say that you also want to do live trainings for the course. You just want to take the time on the front end to make sure that there's income potential and there's audience potential for your course. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you will end up spending a lot of time and energy trying to get into a course idea that may not actually have demand. So I know this was a little bit shorter episode than usual, but I wanted to get straight to the point. But the 5 points basically are: how do you know you're ready to create an online course? You're looking for scalable impact. So in your heart, you have felt like you have a bigger mission to share, and that mission, you love the therapy room, but there's somehow just the therapy room feels confining in some sort of way. The second thing is you've mastered a specific skill or a knowledge area or a specific niche, and that you're becoming a known expert in that niche. The third one, you have a passion for teaching, sharing what you have learned along the way to a new generation. And this is the other nuance of it, is you're not trying to often create a course for everybody, even for somebody that may be on the same level as you or even more advanced from you. You're actually trying to often create a course for somebody that's 2 to 3 steps behind you. The fourth point is you're open to learning new skills. And so often an online course is not just about creating the course. It's about things like learning to build an audience and knowing what course platforms to pick, or learning some of this gear when it comes to recording an online course. It's a lot of fun trying to figure it out. And you definitely don't need to put like all this pressure on yourself to, try to have it all figured out in like year one. It's, just about being willing to stay for many years and saying, hey, I think I would really enjoy this and I want to get better and better at it. And the fifth point is, again, you're willing to validate your idea. Again, I just wanted to like double click and emphasize that, because I've seen so many colleagues who have wonderful course ideas, but there is an actual market demand for them. And I would never want you to create an online course if it actually wasn't going to be, if we can't reasonably say it's going to be successful. Again, our course creator starter kit is over at sellingthecouch.com/course kit, or you can go to coursecreatorstarterkit.com. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.